go! Yo, what's poppin', everybody? It's your boy GsmoothMindset in the building. Today, on this special episode, I have my boy Loic Diabaté from Afrique de Demain. Afrique de Demain is a platform where it's an entrepreneurship platform, and the biggest idea is to use your passion as an impact. Come on.
How you
Loic Diabaté,
doing?
what's poppin', man?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. A good Thursdays in Arkansas. I'm doing good. How about you?
Yeah, I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good, man. Doing good, thank you. I'm glad that you had time to come up today and just have this little conversation about using your passion as an impact.
Yes,
But
sir.
for the people that don't really know you or anything, what's your story, man? Where you from? Maybe if you can do a little elevator pitch of your story so that people know a little more about you.
Well, I'll say right now, I just started Afrique de Demain. That's a really new project that I've been working on. Loic Jabate actually is an international student. I came here in America, I think 4 years ago. It was
Mhm.
in 2015. I came here December 31st. New Year for me was in a plane. That was crazy, like cultural shock. The weather I came in, it was December. It was hell of cold, and that was my first
Yeah.
time to really be outside of my country, like in the
Yeah.
winter. So
Yeah.
I came here as an international student in Arkansas, small state in the bottom of the map, in the south, and I was amazed by American culture. I was shocked
Mm.
by the way people become entrepreneurs here. Everybody was talking about entrepreneurs, and I went to school,
Mm.
for a bachelor in finance and risk management because I feel like it's so important for people to understand the risk of businesses. It's not a game. Business is not a game. It's not something you jump in without knowing something. You have
Mhm.
to, evaluate the risk. You have to know that for every bad decision you're gonna make, there's gonna be consequences coming right away, knocking you down. Your money gonna go down. Your self, your value as an individual gonna go down. So I was impressed by
Mhm.
them, just not caring and just jumping in. And I was like, you know what?
Right.
Right now I'm doing my master, and I was like, you know what? Africa need that. Africa needs people to really start. And I'm not talking about old people. I'm not talking about people that are 50 or 60. I'm talking about us young people that we don't
Mhm.
need to wait no more. Like, time, we don't know when we're gonna die. So we need to start as early as possible. So that's what Afrique
Mhm.
de Demain and me want to, inspire people to do. Just jump in for a little, summary of what my vision is.
Young people, right? The young people that you are calling to start their businesses and things like that. Or for those that want to start
Mm-hmm.
or that have these ideas, what do you think is stopping them
Like
from
in
start?
Africa,
Is it fear? I would say let's go a
in
little
general.
everywhere in general. And
Right.
then the second question would be, what do you think are the problems with the young in Africa? But in general, why do you think a young person today with all of everything that's available that really wants to start but is like, I don't know or whatever. What do you think is stopping him from starting?
I'm not gonna say stopping it, but I feel like there's something that young people need to cultivate a little bit more, and that's I'm a big fan of Gary Vee. Like that's the person, like that's my person. It's like he's always
Mhm.
telling us that you need to be self-aware of yourself. You have to be self-aware of what you're passionate. You have to be aware of what's driving you because motivation can go, but when you took the time to really build habits, you build the time to really like love the failure. There's nothing that can stop you. And I feel like some young people, like you said, like entrepreneur now is like the new athlete. is like it's cool. It's cool to be an entrepreneur because you go on YouTube and people tell you how you're gonna make $1 million in 6 months. You go on Instagram, you saw all those influencers that are like showing up money and telling you that you can do that in 6 months. And then it creates something that I feel like is so powerful. It creates a lack of patience. People want to
Right.
put the minimal efforts and get gratification right away. I want to start Afrique the Domain today and have 5,000 followers. That's not gonna happen. There's so much statistic that people don't know. Even with YouTube, 95% of YouTube pages we never reach 1,000 subscribers. 95%. All the big channel that all the more than 100K people, it's just 1% of YouTube. Like when you take all the channel into consideration, so it's hard. So I feel like people want to be entrepreneur, but they don't want to put the work. They don't want to strive. They don't want to suffer. And entrepreneurship is hard. And I feel like something that stop people is like they're expecting something to be easy, and when they get in, they jump in. It's like they get kicked. They're like, wow, that's how hard it is to get 100 followers. I was happy the day I got 100 followers on Instagram. It was like I was amazed. The day I got 100 subscribers on YouTube, I was thrilled. Some people are not patient enough. They're like, I'll celebrate when I got 1,000K. You're not gonna do that because it's hard. It's gonna be probably 2 years from now. Statistics said to reach 100, like 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, it takes in general 24 months. So you have to put content, consistent out for 24 months for you to be able to see a milestone. So if you don't
Mhm.
have patience, I feel like your dream is gonna die. And it's so important for you to know that, to know yourself. That's the only body you got. That's the only person you're ever gonna be till you die. So if you don't know yourself, I feel like you're starting the race with like a big handicap. So that's why my big point, like, to not be too long. But I feel like that's thing I struggle with. I'm not gonna be here talking about other people's struggle, but mine is like lack of patience. I want to be big because I got this big vision in my head, and when results don't come, I'm frustrated. You know what I mean?
And also, we are the generation of the internet. We want everything in the click.
We do.
And with the biggest part, it's all of that social media. Because I always say that even ever since the beginning, right now with all of this social media shit, you can see exactly what's going on in the life of your favorite celebrity,
Mm-hmm.
in the life of your favorite days, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So when you don't really have built the self-esteem, it becomes really, really hard not to envy or not to be jealous
That's
or
true.
not to
That's
want
for
the
sure.
same. And then you want to get started, but you never really build self-awareness to be like, oh, is that actually for me? Everybody's like, oh, this guy has 100 followers. Oh, I wish I was him. I wish I was him. I wish I was him. No, 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 no,
Right.
no.
Nah, that's
Don't
not it
wish,
work.
man. You don't know what's going on. You
Yeah.
don't know that for sure.
Right.
What you were saying, what do you think are some of the problems that the African youth or even Africa in general are facing
The
right
problem.
now,
Ooh, there's a
especially?
lot. There's a lot that we're gonna talk
Really?
about. I'm not gonna talk about big one, but I think I'm gonna talk about a little bit of all of them. But I feel like
Mhm.
personally, what I see from my
Mhm.
experience and not from book or whatever, articles sometimes is just like too much literature. But in life, when you say things, I think the first thing is lack of education. And lack of education is
Mhm.
not only school, it's like at home.
Mhm.
Your father, your mother will
Mhm.
want
That's
you to
good.
be a doctor. They're gonna be like, "Hey, Loic, I pay for your tuition to go in America. I don't want you to come here and sell some bananas like plantain aluku. They don't want you to have a restaurant. They don't want you to have, a dry, like maybe like how you call it, like cave, like for liquor store. It's like they'll judge you. So your parents, in a way, are preventing you to try new things and to be self-aware. You know, I'm when I'm going home, I'm gonna raise some poultry. I want some chicken. I need some that. I want to do something manual because economy in Africa is still based on goods and commodities. So why you want me
Mhm.
to go sit in the office making, I don't know, 500,000 francs CFA, while I can be, planting something, I can be raising chicken and made a million or two every month. You know what I mean?
Right.
So education is something that you need to be more open to your kid. And education in school too is important because human resources is the most important thing for any business in the world. It's not
Mm,
financials, is not decision, is human being behind all these strategies. Because then when you're gonna be asleep, you're the boss. When the boss is asleep, the person that I'm running the business when he's not here is the human being, and you need to invest in those human beings for them to be ready to face all those challenges. So I feel like the
right.
first problem in Africa is we need heavy investment for education, for like Ivy school, first, but two, to like people to read, because you don't want to hear that, but I think like more than 50% of the population in Africa don't have education level, sometimes don't even know how
Mm-hmm.
to read. How you want me to build
Right.
a businesses? How you want me to build economy with those kind of statistics? So I feel like that's
Right.
the number one problem: lack of education, home education, home training, and education in like schools.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want me
Yeah.
to continue, I'll say the number two, the big number two, is unemployment. It's like, for
Mm-hmm.
me, it's like a big thing, because you can have all, and I say that all the time on Afrique de Demain. You can have all the statistic, the macro economy. Oh, the growth is two digits. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do I see tangibly in the micro? Do I see my brothers and sisters having job? No, because they're going to school for 20 years. They're having all those BTS. They're having all those master and master two. And then they struggle to even find an internship that is
Right.
paid. They're going to be like, hey, I'm going to pay for your taxi to come to work. Are you kidding me? I have a master and you're still talking about paying for my transportation to come to work. How I'm gonna make money? How I'm gonna be able to support my family? How I'm gonna be able to get them out of poverty? How I'm gonna get them to spend more money in the economy in Africa? So we need to stop focusing on growth. We need to create job, manufacturing job, financial services job, digital marketing jobs that are gonna allow cash flows inside of Africa. So that's my number two biggest problem so far.
I feel like the culture of learning by doing should be promoted more
I
all
agree.
over the world, like
Oh
everywhere. We
yeah,
should be learning by doing because the guy that has the masters, even if we want to deep down, if we want to go a little deeper into the statistics, if you really want to put that dude to work and you want some real results, you can't really do it.
true.
Like it can't really do it. If I have a company and you have a master's degree of whatever, even if it's a business master degree,
Right.
I especially if it's an MBA, especially if it's an MBA,
Mhm.
I assume that you can get me customers. I want some
Right.
revenue.
Right.
If I'm a business owner, I want some fucking revenue.
That's all I want.
So
Yeah.
I want you to be able to go out and get me some deals.
That's
And a lot of students cannot do that.
do that. Mm-mm.
A lot of
Because
students
that's
cannot
not.
do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I know because I was a student and I didn't learn that.
Mm-mm.
And it's when I got into the real world that I was like, oh shit,
Right.
it
I
doesn't
need
work
to
like that.
learn how to sell. That's actually something you don't learn in school. Marketing
Yeah,
theory or whatever cannot teach you how to go out in the world and talk to somebody to buy your product. You don't learn that in class. You learn
yeah,
all the theory around that, but there's not a class where I remember picking the phone and be like, "Hey, my name is Loic. I have this business. I think the domain. I want to do that." No, that's something you learn by doing, and you're absolutely right. And that's something I struggle with daily in Afrique the domain, to be able to reach people. And I'm getting better with that because I feel like I changed my mindset through all your videos and thing, and be like, you know what? The only answer, there's only two scenarios. They're gonna be yes, I'm on board, I'm good with this answer, and they're gonna say no, I'm not in board, and that's not gonna change or remove something from me. In the future, when my success is gonna be bigger or whatever, or there's gonna be, I feel like I take the no's as it's not a good time now. Let's talk about that in a year. So that's all the no's give you. It give you a second opportunity to come later and ask something else, and that's it. And I feel like your video really helped me get that in my mind, that no is not a rejection, it's just a delay toward whatever you're trying to get.
It was an article talking about billionaires, and it was saying that I don't remember the stat, but some at least 70%. I believe it was at least that. I think it was more, but I
Hmm.
do remember that it was at least that 70% of these guys started their career in sales, especially door-to-door sales. I was like,
Hmm.
oh, I was like, why
Interesting.
is that? So it got me thinking. I was like, okay, so I'm doing this door-to-door job, and the millionaires and the billionaires started doing this. Even if you read the Nike memoir, Shoe Dog,
Mm-hmm.
the founder of Nike, I always forget his name. He wrote his book. He wrote this book called Shoe Dog, where he tells the full story of how the whole Nike empire was created
Started.
from beginning to start.
Interesting.
Even him, he was selling, I believe it was encyclopedias. Encyclopedias. Is that how you
Okay.
say it?
Yeah, I
Encyclopedias.
think so.
I remember, I believe so. I'm not sure exactly what was the product, but I
Uh-huh.
think I remember it was selling something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also how he started. But I didn't even know that then. I read the book a few years later. But the point is, that's what got me curious as of why was that reason. But the thing is, what I learned is the real, what I believe is the real secret to
Of
this
success.
entrepreneur, whatever, whatever, whatever. You gotta learn how to sell, man.
That's true.
Like you gotta learn how to close deals. If you
Yeah.
don't make money, you
You're not
have
gonna be
no
surviving.
business.
There's no striving without money.
You
You're
have
right.
no business. So if you're
Being doing that.
watching this right now and you have a goal of having a business someday, of becoming an entrepreneur, you need to learn how to sell.
That's true.
Why? Because your business, first of all, you're selling yourself.
True.
You need to
Exactly.
learn how to sell yourself. You need to learn
Mm-hmm.
how to sell your ideas. You
Right.
need to learn how to influence somebody to join your team,
Right.
because you're gonna need people. You can't do shit alone.
Mm-mm.
You need to learn how to convince people to get your product. You need to learn how to convince people that, hey, you have this problem. My product is the
That fix
product
it.
that can solve your problem.
Exactly. That's all it
That's
is.
the first
That's
step.
all it is.
I think even Warren Buffett said that too. That somebody asked him. A lot of successful people said that, like, if you want to really do this, you must learn how to sell, how to close deals. And you were also talking about rejection. That's
Yeah.
also a really big thing that I learned when I
In
was knocking
sales.
on doors, because you will be rejected.
Oh
It's
yes.
part of the game.
Every time.
It's part of the game. If you're watching right now and you're still scared of rejection or whatever, you need to rethink it a little bit and understand that there is no way out. It's part of the game.
Mm-mm.
You're not gonna play. You're not gonna go sign up to become a football player and not expect to get tackled. It's going to happen.
Right.
It's going to happen. Now, how do you deal with it? That's when you start playing with this shift. Not only it's, you said something about it's not now, it's later, because
Yeah, it's
every
just a delay.
rejection, it's a delay,
That's
and
it.
it's also sometimes protection.
It
Because
is.
when you go to a girl and she rejects you, she might not even be the girl for you, man. So
Right.
you should be happy that she rejected
You
you.
might be redirected to something better, actually.
Yeah, you
Exactly.
might be
You're right.
redirected to something better. And you don't
Exactly.
even know, she might be rejecting you because she's scared.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, oh man, I see this guy, man. This guy is a player, man.
The
He's gonna break
player is
my
gonna
heart.
hurt me. Right.
Or she might reject you because she has a boyfriend.
Yeah. Exactly.
Or she's emotionally unavailable.
Unavailable.
She's like she just got to break up or
Right.
whatever. She doesn't want to deal with somebody. I've met girls like that, and they
Yeah.
told me, "Hey, man, it's I it is
Right.
what it is."
Yeah, it is what it is. That's
Yeah,
good. I love failure. I feel like I'm becoming more comfortable with failure. And when you do have that in your life, I feel like the sky is really the limit in this case. When no don't hurt you, no don't make you overthink. Because there's so much your ideas can get crushed and get killed by overthinking. You
yeah,
overthinking those rejection, not having the subscriber, you not having the likes, no, you not having the money. You may feel like you're late in the process, but you're not because you're failing to build your success in the future.
yeah.
You've That's what you need to see.
You've been on that Gary V shit, man.
Oh yeah, that's my boy. I listen every day in my car, going
I,
wherever to Gary V.
I
It is
can
my
feel
boy.
it. You haven't failed, man. You early. You're
Early
fucking
in the
early.
process. Exactly.
Yeah,
That's
that's
my
good,
boy.
man. That's good. I really, 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 really love that. And so, yeah. What was the third problem? I
For the
think you
young
had a third
people,
problem.
well,
Yeah,
yeah, I feel like there's more, but I feel like you're right. Like, one of the other thing that I would think is like family problems because most of African people are coming from poor family, and that statistic is not because I grew up in a family that have money or whatever that you need to, think that everybody is like you. There's a huge gap in like money wise in Africa. Like people are poor, not even like American type of poor. I'm talking about people that have no food, people that cannot drink,
right.
people that cannot afford nothing. So
Yeah,
I feel like when those kids come from like family like that, it is extremely hard for them to break the cycle of poverty, and that drag Africa down.
yeah,
So a fight in Africa for the next 40 years should be fighting poverty to be able to create this like I said this wealth created. I feel like it goes through taxes. We need to raise more money internally without taking debt from foreign countries. We need to raise money by ourselves and help our people first, and that's something I really believe in. And like you said, there's pressure for social network, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, all of that making people feel like they're late in the process, but they're not. They're early. Like you said, it's really early. Are you 20 years old, you're 30 years old, you just live 1/3 of your life. Now it's time for you to get out, get the job of your dream. Now is the time to
right.
quit the job you don't like. Now is the job to make like hard decision. You're not gonna die. Even when you're failing, you may lose a little bit of money, of course, but you're not gonna die. It's not like you're gonna go to jail. It's not like monopoly. That's real life. You're just failing. You go back on your feet and you go. That's it. So I feel like that's really big problem. And the last one, not to be too long, is like negative stereotyping. African have this bad thing of like be like Africans suck, Africa is bad, you shouldn't go invest in Africa, you shouldn't do that in Africa. There's terrorism, there's war all the time. When you're gonna start your small business, there's gonna be war and you're gonna get wiped out. Sir, risk exists in every country. In Europe,
Yeah,
in America, making business in Russia is a risky business. Making business in America is risky because there is too much big shock in the equation. There is risk everywhere: political risk, there's financial risk, there's market risk, there's COVID-19 risk, there's everything, right? So you all need to stop with this bullshit about Africa being, underdeveloped. We're getting all our resources to other people. That's why we're still poor. So we need to
fact,
change that easy.
straight up.
Manufacture. Aliko
It's the
Dangote is the
biggest
richest
fact.
man in Africa, right? How he did
Yeah,
it,
man.
he started manufacturing. So that should be an example for everybody that is listening that today you shouldn't be only focused on production of commodities, but transforming it to allow, Africa to, take, I don't know, prendre son envol. And that's it.
Like I didn't even know about this whole entrepreneur thing. I only
Okay.
knew that when I was a kid,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to have a business. That's all I
Right.
want. That's all I knew. And then when it came to the point where I because we all believe that We have to go to work,
Mm-hmm.
maybe work for somebody, blah 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 blah. Like the game, it's kind of changed right now with all of the
Right.
ideas. But if you don't really have that self awareness, and you also said a good point when you were talking about the poor families,
Mm-hmm.
because when you live in that environment where everybody is poor, and you meet somebody that tells you that the first step to change that whole shit, it's actually going to be to change your mind about it. It's hard for him to believe that
It is.
because it's going to be like, damn, man, what the fuck you mean? I got
I
to
cannot
change my
even
mind.
find food.
I don't even have food to eat. Like, I got to eat. What the fuck you talking about mindset,
Exactly.
bro? What the fuck you mean? So it's
That's true.
really hard. Like you said, it's so hard. It is
It
shit
is.
is so hard. And if you pay attention, a lot of the billionaires today were in that situation.
They were.
But these were the only ones that were aware enough to understand that, hey man, I'm gonna get out of this shit.
Exactly.
I
Like
don't
I
know
said,
how it's gonna
I
happen.
don't know how yet.
I have no idea how it's gonna
Mm-hmm.
happen, but you best believe
I'll
that I'm
find a
gonna do
way.
it. That's how you can take a leap of faith.
Right.
That's why it's so hard, and that's why it's good that right now we have YouTube, we have all of these channels, and
That's
everybody
amazing.
making content, telling stories, saying this, saying that, and then you have more people at least getting aware and then trying. But it's man, this thing is so hard.
Being broke
But
is hard, anyways, right? So I feel like you just
hey,
need to choose your heart, right?
oh, this is good because having like even the rich people they always say I've been broke and I've been rich and I'm gonna tell you man
Pull for heart.
being broke it's not fun. I'm like yeah that's what I'm talking about but I agree. So what do you think can be some solutions? I mean we already hit a little bit on education
Mm-hmm.
and everything else.
So what can
So
we live? You have to develop the continent to be, actually develop Africa, right? Is that the question?
no like what do you think could be some solutions to the problems that we were talking about
Which problems?
um, mostly the
Oh,
family with the
yeah.
families at home and things like that.
I feel like personally, what I always say is like, I understand you broke, you don't have money, so I cannot come here and be like, you should build a business. You're gonna be like, well, I need money to build business, and that's something that America is great at. And I saw here they have amazing resources to get you access to credit, to be able to use that. We have none of that back home. Like me, without a car, without a job, without a house, I cannot go to a banker in Africa and be like, can you give me 1 million francs CFA? I'll start something. They'll be like, you are funny, bro. What do you think you are? So I feel
Yeah.
like a solution to get out of poverty is use partnership. The same way we use
Hmm.
tontine back home. La tontine, I feel like it's a powerful tool if it's used the right way with like modern way of doing it. So I feel like you in the US, you got your friend, you got 10 friends.
Hmm.
Tell them that you want to get out of poverty. You tired of being broke. Like being broke is hard. I'm tired of that shit. You know what? Let's create a WhatsApp group. We gonna create something together. We put $1,000. If you are in America, $1,000 is a lot, but there's ways for you to save $1,000 in 2 3 years. You put $1,000 together for 10 people. That's a 10K. That's like almost 6 million francs CFA, and that starts something back home. That'll get you, at the out of the door. That'll get you to the banker. The banker gonna be, oh, he got 6 million in his bank account. I may give him something. I think that you need to call your mama, you need to call your grandma, you need to call your uncle and be like, hey, I want to start that. I'm tired of being broke. I want you to give me 1 million, or I want you to give me 100,000 francs, and I want to start that. You're being smart, you read book, you talk about equity, you tell them, hey, you're gonna have maybe 10% of equity in my company, and that may worth 10 million, 20 million, a billion in 20 years. Why you wouldn't take the risk to be in that with me? So I feel like that's
Hmm.
something that people need to educate themselves on and be like, let's do partnership, African partnership. And we have the luxury of knowing so much people that are educated. I know so much people that are educated since I came in America. You know what I mean? I got people that really want
Yeah.
to change things. You just need to be able to, start partnership with them, even if you broke, even if you don't have nothing, and that can have an impact back home. And that's the same thing back home. Young people that don't have a lot of money, put 20 people together, do a tontine, do a saving account together, and start small. I feel like you need to think big, but please act small. That's what Dangote always say. Think big,
Mhm.
act small. That's all. I think that it can get you out of the, at least at the beginning. And just be honest too. Don't steal people money, because then you're gonna fuck the future. If you steal this money, this small money that you all made together, you fucked up the project. And you're never gonna be a billionaire because you wanted this gratification that come, down the road for you to go to Dubai. Bro, that's not gonna work. So we need to change the mindset. Stop stealing,
Mm.
put your heads down, forget about social media, work. Work hard, work a lot, but work toward financial independence. That's it.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. The daunting, a little kind of like crowdfunding.
Yep.
I like that idea, man. That's actually something that can be promoted. And with all of the ways that you can raise money online right now,
So
I
much
think
way.
some people are doing it, but
Oh
I
yeah.
believe it should really be more promoted, like you're
Yeah, they need
saying.
people. If somebody is listening to me, I think they need to just go educating themselves on venture capitalism. That's how Nigerian people make money right now. VCs,
Yeah.
South Africa, Morocco have biggest VCs in Africa, and they're buying other people by businesses. Just educate yourself and read about VCs, and I feel like you don't need a lot of money. You just need a small amount.
Yeah, that's true. It's and the second point when you were saying about think big and act small, it's all about initiative, like
It is.
taking the initiative, man, taking the first step. It's
Yeah.
true. I always tell everybody, I've learned that somewhere when you're trying to do something, even if it's too big. I think it was Martin Luther King that said that
Mm,
quote. I'm not sure, but I learned that somewhere. Like it's it looks so big, like some stairs or whatever, and you feel like
mm.
you can't really. Hey, take the first step, man.
Yeah, that's it.
Take the first step
That's it.
because if you don't take the first step, there is no way you can get there. So think big, start small. That's that's actually how you do it.
And something I want to
And
add for that is like I
mhm.
feel like we need to I have a big problem with women not going to school because it's like a huge, amount of the population in Africa. So I feel like
Oh
something
yeah.
that will help is like we need to make it easy for women to start businesses like in America. Like because when women
Mm.
got money, they're never gonna keep that money for themselves. They're gonna help the community, they're gonna help their kid, they're gonna help their husband. I feel
And
like it's
everybody
so
else is happy,
important.
man.
What you said?
I said if everybody else is happy, man, especially the husband.
Right, exactly. When you finance those project, little project, and put those girl at school, I feel like if I can do one thing, if I can just do one charity event or whatever, it will be funding women because they're the key of everything.
Mm.
Like fund women, put them in school. Like Africa need to stop you just putting boys in school. We're not better than women. Like women actually are better sometimes in businesses than men. Like when you put accountant women, when you put a lot of women, there's studies with that, they're more
In some
honest with their
areas,
monies,
yeah,
right?
for
So
sure.
I feel like it's so important now to help women financing their business, educating them because they're gonna have a big and huge impact on Africa development in the long term.
Yeah, I agree. In a lot of different areas, women are really, really good in business. I
Yeah,
really, really agree with that. But the men are still the kings, though. All right, let's go.
I'm not gonna say nothing.
But what am I gonna say? That was really good, man. I really like that. What I think that's my last question. What are two or three big lessons that you've learned ever since you moved to?
Summary of whatever we talk, that's gonna be like a good summary. I feel like the first thing I learned here is like know yourself, self awareness. Because
Mhm.
when I live with my parents, like you said, most of the thing are provided by them. So I never knew how to really go out there and look for my own food by my own means. So when you know
Right.
about yourself, you're gonna find the right way of doing things. Like you're gonna be good at selling, so you're gonna start a selling company. you know you're good at digital marketing, you're gonna start a YouTube channel that you're gonna monetize in the future. If you're good, I don't know, at sports, you're gonna be like, hey, mama, I don't care about your opinion. I'm just gonna be a sport. I'm gonna be in sports. I know you don't want to hear that, but I'm gonna do it because I know myself. You know me. Your
Mm,
parents didn't have their shit figured out by 25. Your father didn't know whatever he wanted to do when he was 25. He gonna act like he did, but he had a lot of problems too. So sometimes
yeah,
you need to be like, hey, mama, I value your opinion, I respect you, but it's my life. You see,
empathy.
like vulnerability, but myself first. I love my mama to death, but I'll tell her that I'm gonna do that to make me happy. You know what I mean? I feel like that's
Right.
one thing I learned here, to be like, mama, thank you for everything, but just let me be on the driver's seat this time. I got my life in
Mm,
my own hands. That's all.
mm, that's
Yeah, it's
good.
important. Second thing, love failure. I feel like that's my second big thing. Be in
Yeah.
love like you love your wife, like you love your mama, like you love your girlfriend. Love failure. Every time you fail, be like happy. I remember I asked somebody, a famous guy, to be on my podcast, and he was like, "You know what? Come back when you get 1,000 subscriber." I was like, "With pleasure. I'll be right there the day I hit the 1,000 subscriber. I'll send you an email, and we're gonna make this podcast happen." There's nothing to be
Yeah.
mad about, And no, it's just a delay. And like we said, think big, act small. Dangote, another guy, richest guy in Africa, richest black man on earth, manufacturing. Africa need to stop
Oh, really?
relying on commodity. They need to manufacture this chocolate back home, the cacao. We need to start, changing it. We need to stop investing only in infrastructure. When Chinese people come, they just fund the roads, so our resources go from the villages to the ports for them to make all the
Mm-hmm.
money. I feel like we need to
Mm-hmm.
put those resources inside of Africa. Trade with Ghana, trade with South Africa, trade with other people, and let the money be in Africa. So that's thing
Right.
that I learned from being here in America, because that's how they do things. They trade
Right.
with other people, they specialize in some things, and they outsource from others that are better than them. And the economy is booming, even with COVID.
Man, the self-awareness and love failure, especially for those that are watching, this is the loving failure part. It's crazy because it's so true as of it's kind of like, let me see if I have a coin. There is this thing that I've learned.
Mm,
I think I have a coin somewhere. Whatever you're trying to do, right? Your success, it's like you want to have this coin, right? But the coin has two sides. So if we say that this one is success and this one is failure, but you do want the coin, there is no way that you can have the coin without having both sides.
mm, mm,
So it's like if you really want to be successful at whatever it has to be, before you can get the success, you're gonna have to fail first
to deal
because
with the failure.
failure and success are like two sides of the same
I
coin.
love it.
You can't have one without the other.
Mm-mm.
Even if you want to have a girlfriend, like you're not
Only the good
gonna
parts.
you're not gonna get the first girl that you meet,
Right.
right? You're gonna get some rejections first. It's part of the game. If you play basketball, you're never gonna make any shot. You're gonna have to miss a lot of
Lot of
shots
shots.
before you can actually start even making just one or making two. If you play football, not the football, soccer, if you're trying to score these penalties, you're not gonna score the first one all the time. You're gonna have
Mhm.
to practice. So everything you will have to fail first. This is the biggest thing that I've learned in my whole life, man. It's
It
like
is.
there is no way out. We all need to learn to fall in love with the idea that, hey, I already know that I'm gonna fail.
Exactly.
So let me find out how fast I can get to the success.
Right.
Let me find out how fast I can get to the success. Okay, cool. So if I want to do this, maybe let me try 100 times as fast as I can. I already know I'm going to fail 100 times.
Right.
So until I have 100 reps, I'm cool. I'm
Right.
just do it. I just do it. And then you can always reevaluate. But we really, really need to fall in love
To
with the
the process
failures.
of failure, because I feel like failure, being scared of failing is one of the biggest dream killer. Like you never even tried because you were so afraid of like the fail that you're gonna fail. You never even get, like, you never got the shot. You like, imagine being on the NBA team. You like the Lakers, like maybe 5 seconds left. You got the ball in your hand. You need to make the shot, but you're already thinking, I'm gonna miss. Before taking the shot, you're gonna try to pass to somebody else that is more qualified. You may, the team may have win through the shot, but because you were so, afraid of failing, you're never gonna try to take the shot, and you're gonna pass your success like stupidly like that. I feel like you need to love the failure, love the process, and you know what? Just don't give a fuck about people, judgment or whatever. Just go for it. Fail big. That's all I can say.
Yeah, man. Self awareness and self esteem.
Yes,
And
sir.
then a lot of practice, man. That was my last question for today.
I
I
know.
appreciate everybody. I put it in the comments.
Uh,
Africa, Africa, the man. Africa, the man.
Thank
I
you.
put it here so you guys can check on YouTube and Instagram. Check the
Everywhere.
channel
Yes, sir.